Welcome back to another episode of The Lost Codex, a channel dedicated to the people, places, and histories of Azeroth's universe. In the previous episode, we learned of the Trolls' discovery of the Well of Eternity, their evolution into the arcane-wielding Night Elves, and the rise of their wondrous culture that would shape the very future of Azeroth. Today we continue with the history of the Night Elven Empire. Queen Azshara, a name that would forever echo throughout Night Elf history. During her reign, Queen Azshara was revered and beloved like no other ruler before her. Although Night Elves of all social ranking adored their queen, her most prominent supporters were of the Night Elven noble caste. These nobles were known as Kaldorei, or Highborn, and would serve as her most loyal supporters, advisors, and handmaidens. Under Queen Azshara's rule, the Kaldorei Empire expanded as expeditionary forces founded several outposts and cities across Kalimdor. These outposts would extend the borders of the Night Elves' territory, taking them to the far northern reaches of the continent, out to the western wilds of Kalimdor, and down to the southern jungles of the land. In time, Queen Azshara's empire had spread over much of Kalimdor, her vast influence over Azeroth rivaling that of the Black Empire during ages long past. As the borders of her dominion expanded, Queen Azshara spent much of her time in the confines of her palace within the great city of Elundris. Her subjects far and wide had revered her to such an extent that they renamed the city in her honor, calling it Zin Azshari, or the Glory of Azshara. There, like much of the highborn sorcerers, Azshara studied the magics of the well, believing they had only scraped the surface of its potential, and pushed her loyal Kaldorei to discover its secrets. Their magic plumbed the depths of the well and in the process sent sparks of arcane magic rippling through the twisting nether. And just as moths are drawn to a flame, so too are the demons of the twisting nether drawn to torrents of arcane magic. Sargeras had his eyes on Azeroth, and the time had come for the Burning Legion to wreak havoc across this unsuspecting world. To begin the invasion, Sargeras tempted the power-hungry highborn noble by the name of Lord Xavius, who brought the Demon Lord's promise of power to his queen. Sargeras required Azshara and her highborn to summon his armies into Azeroth so that they could extend his blessing upon them and her world. The highborn called upon the powers of the well to fuel their ritual and opened the doorway for Sargeras' terrifying minions. As the fell green portals opened throughout Zin Azshari, Sargeras' lieutenants emerged and stepped into Azeroth. Manaroth the Destructor, Hakar the Houndmaster, and Archimo the Defiler. These three demon lords commanded their armies to storm the Night Elven lands, slaughtering everyone in their path, everyone except the Highborn and Queen Azshara. Enthralled by Sargeras' promise of power and untold potential, Azshara watched as the lower castes of her city were put to the sword. In her eyes, such a sacrifice was necessary to usher in a new age in order to remake Azeroth into her perfect paradise. As demons streamed from the gates of Zin Azshari, a resistance formed among the rest of the Night Elf people. Led by the Kaldorei noble Lord Kurtalos of the ancient house of Ravencrest, the resistance was formed to stand against the Queen's terrible new allies. Among the defenders that stood at Lord Ravencrest's side were three crucial heroes that would forever change the course of both the war and the future of Azeroth. Malfurion Stormrage, the honored student of the Wild God Cenarius, dealt a devastating blow against the Highborn by calling upon his powerful druidic magic to destroy Azshara's most trusted counselor, Lord Xavius. Malfurion's twin brother Illidan dabbled in arcane sorcery and would lead an elite force of powerful mages known as the Moonguard against the demons of the Burning Legion. The third ally was the Night Elven priestess Tyrande Whisperwind, who served in the Sisterhood of Elune. Her faith and blessed powers saved countless lives during the war, where she would eventually ascend to the rank of High Priestess of her order. Together, these three heroes, alongside Lord Ravencrest's army, would stand defiantly against the endless demons that destroyed the forests and settlements of Kalimdor. While the defenders clashed against the demonic onslaught, Malfurion soon came to the realization that they could not win this battle alone, and beseeched the aid of Cenarius. The Wild God agreed that the threat of the Burning Legion was far greater than anything they had ever seen, and the time had come to summon the Wild Gods of Kalimdor to the front lines. The terrible War of the Ancients was underway, and the future of all of Azeroth shifted as the endless armies of the Legion marched forward, while the Night Elf resistance began to crumble. Thank you for joining us for another chapter on the Lost Codex. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and share the video. If you have a request for a future chapter topic or a holocore episode, please leave a comment. And if you want to see more from the pages of the Lost Codex, hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for the continuation of the War of the Ancients.